It's not something I ever would have expected to see in my career. To see 3 women on this bench of 5, that definitely was a surprise to me, but one that I think was welcome and I was excited about, both if I had just observed it, but also really excited to be a part of it. I'm so thrilled to join Justice Peterson and Justice Hagan, and the 3 of us together make up that female majority. I've seen so many people come up to me and be so excited about that, women and men, right? And I love that it comes from both sides. It's not just women that are excited, although they are so grateful to just see that, you know, women belong in these places and there isn't a barrier. And I know growing up, I was kind of a generation where it felt a little bit like there's a lot of men there and, you know, there's going to be a woman. Yes, they need to hire, but it's one, right? It's kind of like this token selection. And I had people in law school say to me, well, you got that interview or that job offer because they need a woman. And that always made me feel like, well, yes, they need a woman. They need that perspective. But at the same time, it made me feel like they were saying that was the only reason I got the job. And I feel like when you turn to a court and it becomes a majority women, it's saying, look, it's not about the gender at this point. It's about the qualifications and about what they can bring to the court. It just means so much to me to have gone from this place that I was in, you know, in law school 30 years ago, where I had people treating me like it was just, you're getting the job just because they need a woman, as opposed to, no, you're getting this job because you're qualified for it. And you can contribute and provide something of value. And so it's just a really exciting place to be. I also would find myself many times in boardrooms, in courtrooms, as the only woman in the room. And that can be a little bit intimidating, and you have to make sure that your voice is heard. But there were times, depending on people I was dealing with, who I felt like just didn't want to listen because I was a woman. And especially I was young. I graduated from law school when I was just 23. So I was a young woman, and I definitely experienced times where I would have people just kind of discount my opinion. And I think that was largely because of my youth and my gender. So you just had to work harder, and you just had to be better and have confidence in your views. The other thing that was really important is just having other men there that supported me and would say, let's listen to what she has to say. And then, you know, I wanted to make sure that when young women came up behind me, I was the first woman partner in my office, and try to encourage more women to stay around, to be part of the firm, to be part of the practice of law. And it can be really hard, and I think especially when you're raising a family, there's a lot of demands on mothers' times, and it can be really difficult. And my law firm was willing to let me work on a reduced schedule for a period of time, which I think made it completely possible for me to do what I'm doing now. And because they were willing to do that, I was able to stay in the practice. And I think so often women feel like they have one choice, and it's either to stay and maybe give up something they want in terms of their family, or just quit and leave it all behind. And I was able to find a middle ground there that made a lot of sense, both for the law firm and for me. You know, people say, how did you do it? And I said, it's insane and it's wild, but you know, I was able to make it work, and I'm really grateful that I did, because I wouldn't have been able to do something like this and be on the bench if I hadn't kind of been able to stay with it like that.